Are you looking for the best touchscreen laptops? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best touchscreen laptops on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. HP Spectre X36014, 2024. The best touchscreen laptop we've tested is the HP Spectre X36014, 2024. This premium 2-in-1 convertible has a thin and light design, a sturdy all-aluminum build, and an 11-hour battery life, making it a great laptop for on-the-go use. It sports a gorgeous 2.8K, 120Hz OLED display, which, in addition to touch input, also supports pen input. The keyboard feels spacious and tactile, and the touchpad is large and easy to use. You get a decent port selection for peripherals and external displays, including 1 USB-A and 2 USB-C/Thunderbolt 4s. For biometrics, there's both a fingerprint sensor and a facial recognition IR camera, so you can log in quickly and get straight to work. Performance is great. Intel's Core Ultra CPUs can easily handle general productivity tasks like text processing, web browsing, and video playback, as well as more demanding workloads like photo editing and programming. The laptop doesn't get overly hot or loud, so you don't have to worry about causing too much noise in a quiet work environment. 2 things to bear in mind about the display: the OLED panels flicker at 480 Hz, which may bother people sensitive to display flicker, and OLEDs are susceptible to permanent burn-in, especially with static elements like Windows taskbar. Number 2. Lenovo Yoga 7i16, 2023. Our best mid-range pick is the Lenovo Yoga 7i16, 2023, a 16-inch 2-in-1 convertible. This laptop sports a large 16-inch display, giving you plenty of room for multitasking, and since it's a 2-in-1, you can set the laptop up in tent mode for media consumption or use it as a tablet. Build quality is great, it just doesn't feel quite as premium as the models above. There are 2 display options, an FHD Plus and a QHD Plus panel. We recommend the latter, as it looks sharper and gets brighter to combat glare. There's pen input support if you like to draw or take handwritten notes, and the laptop comes with a stylus included in the box. This laptop is available with Intel 13th Gen U and P-series CPUs, which are plenty fast for general productivity tasks like text processing, web browsing, video playback, and spreadsheets. The battery lasts around 12 hours of light use, even on a model with a QHD Plus display, and it charges quickly over USB-C. By the way, the USB-C ports support Thunderbolt 4, allowing you to transfer files quickly and connect up to 2 4K displays at 60 Hz with a single cable. The webcam is decent. The image has a fair amount of details but an unnatural tint and slightly washed-out colors. The Acer Chromebook Spin 714, 2022 is a good alternative if you want something smaller. It's super compact, and its battery lasts easily through a full day of light use. It also supports pen input and comes with a stylus that you can dock into the side of the laptop for transport. Unfortunately, there's no fingerprint sensor or facial recognition IR camera. Also, you can't install x86 Windows programs on Chrome OS, so you must ensure you can do everything through a Chrome browser or Android apps. This laptop is available with various Intel 12th Gen CPUs, however, availability is scarce because there's a newer 2023 version. We haven't tested the 2023 model but expect it will perform similarly. You can get the 2023 model on Amazon or at Best Buy. Number 3. Lenovo IdeaPad 315, 82KU00C1 US. The best budget touchscreen laptop we've tested is the Lenovo IdeaPad 315, 2021. As this is an older model from 2021, you can easily find an AMD Ryzen 5 5500U configuration for around $500. The Ryzen 5 5500U CPU is a few years old but still plenty fast for general productivity tasks, like web browsing, text processing, spreadsheets, and presentations. Battery life sits around 9 hours of light use, just enough to get you through a typical 8-hour workday. This laptop is pretty easy to carry around for a 15.6-inch model. Its metal and plastic construction feels relatively sturdy, fair for the price but nothing special. You get a reasonably bright 1080p display, a 720p webcam, and a fingerprint sensor. As for the keyboard and touchpad, the former feels tactile but slightly tiring, and the latter is small but reasonably responsive. Unfortunately, you can only charge the laptop via the barrel plug connector because the USB-C port doesn't support charging, and the HDMI port only supports HDMI 1.4 standards, limiting the output resolution to 4K at 30 Hz. Number 4. Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3i Chromebook 14, 2023. If you have an extremely tight budget and want to spend as little as possible, get the Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3i Chromebook 14, 2023. You can regularly find the Core i3 configuration paired with an FHD display, 8GB of RAM, and 128GB of storage, for around $350 to $500 on Lenovo's website. The Core i3 N305 CPU can handle light productivity tasks like text processing, web browsing, and video playback, just don't expect to do anything intensive like video editing. The cheaper configurations with an Intel N100 or N200 CPU and/or 4GB of RAM are fine if you have an extremely light workload, but know that you'll experience more slowdowns when multitasking. Admittedly, this 14-inch Chromebook looks pretty cheap design-wise, however, it's very compact, and its battery lasts around 13 hours of light use. As for the display, while there are multiple options, only the FHD IPS panel with 100% sRGB coverage supports touch input. It looks sharp and gets bright enough for use in most indoor settings. Above it is an excellent 1080p webcam, so your colleagues and clients can see and hear you clearly on video calls. Unfortunately, the keyboard feels a tad mushy, and the touchpad is small and sometimes unresponsive. Number 5. Dell XPS 16, 2024. The best touchscreen workstation laptop we've tested is the Dell XPS 16, 2024. Replacing the Dell XPS 17 from 2023, this 16.3-inch premium model sports Dell's new XPS design with edge-to-edge keys, an invisible touchpad, and impossibly thin bezels. It's available with Intel Meteor Lake CPUs paired with integrated graphics or an NVIDIA discrete GPU, up to an RTX 4070, giving you enough processing power to tackle general productivity tasks and intensive workloads like programming, video editing, and 3D modeling. RAM and storage max out at 64GB and 4TB, respectively. The RAM isn't user replaceable, but the SSD is. Battery life is good at around 9 to 10 hours of light use on a model with a Core Ultra 9 processor and RTX 4060. You'll get even more on models with integrated graphics only. In terms of the user experience, it's somewhat of a mixed bag. While the new design looks sleek and futuristic, it might take some time to get used to, as the keyboard's edge-to-edge keys can cause more typos due to the lack of space between the keys, and because the touchpad is invisible, you can sometimes be right at the edge where the tracking is a little inconsistent, causing frustration. As for the display, you can choose between a 120Hz FHD plus IPS or a 90Hz 4K plus OLED panel, though only the latter supports touch input. You get Wi-Fi 7 wireless connectivity, a fingerprint sensor, a facial recognition camera for quick logins, and an OK port selection with 3 USB-C Thunderbolt 4s and a microSD card reader.